Throughout the long history of the anime community, we've had many different debates such as what the best anime is, dubs versus subs, anime versus manga, and so on. But there has been one single debate between anime fans that literally broke the internet at one point. That debate was, who can beat Goku? Longtime Dragon Ball fans can't seem to stomach the fact that anyone can beat their favorite character, while people that haven't watched the show are more open to the idea that someone can actually be stronger. The fact is, there are characters that can definitely beat our favorite Saiyan. And that's exactly what we're here for today. Hello, and welcome back to Anime Undisclosed. And today, we'll be going over the top 10 anime characters who can beat Goku. Before we get down to the actual list, if you like these kinds of videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we release new anime top 10s on the regular basis. With that said, let's get our inner power scaling nerd to come out, and let's get on with the video. Number 10. Jiren. Let's get the obvious ones out of the way first. The first couple of entries will be characters that are just so overpowered that they're simply stronger than Goku. And then the rest will be characters that just have a specific niche ability to beat him. But starting off, we have Jiren. And we have to be honest here. Jiren is still stronger than Goku. While Goku in Ultra Instinct is a bit stronger, he still can't access it at will. And it took Goku, Android 17, and Frieza together to beat this monster of a man in a full one-on-one fight. Jiren beats Goku. If Ultra Instinct becomes something he can use for a long time, and at will, it will be for a different story. But, for now, Jiren takes the win. Number 9. Anos voldigoad. Up next, we have this misfit of the Demon King Academy. Or, in other words, the Demon Lord himself. Anos is a character that's just too overpowered. The whole anime is basically him overpowering different characters in an engaging manner. He can literally do an air slash, similar to Ichigo's Getsuga Tensho, but slashing the past right before you dodge the attack, making any efforts against him worthless. While Goku is pretty strong and can annihilate planets with a single punch, we've already seen him at his strongest. In fact, we see him at his strongest every single time. But with Anos, we've never seen him go all out. We've seen him beat the God of Time. Without being at full power, we've seen him rearrange the universe by looking at it. And that's still just the tip of the iceberg. And he has weapons that can cut through literally anything. Having that weapon along with the ability to slash time itself simply leaves Goku no room to breathe. When the appeal of the whole anime is the fact that you get to watch the characters crush the other characters one by one, it basically leads to some insane powers that even Mr. Super Saiyan God can't deal with. Number 8. Ban. The Fox's Sin of Green was, for a long time in the story, the weakest member of the gang. He started off as overpowered, and then was severely underpowered compared to the other fighters in the story. The fact is, that as weak as he was still immortal, so there's nothing that Goku could really do to beat him. Now, Ban went through the craziest training arc to become the strongest in the story. He went to Purgatory, a place where conditions are so harsh that breathing feels like you're inhaling millions of glass shards, where the ground is toxic, and your skin is constantly both frostbitten and burned off by the insane heat and cold that are somehow happening at the same time. And also, a couple of minutes in the real world, thousands of years there. Humans can't survive in that place, only one man ever has. And he was there for like a minute. Ban, being immortal, went there and stayed for thousands of years on end, his body adapting to the conditions and becoming insanely strong. With that said, he gave his immortality away to revive the love of his life. And he wouldn't need it anyway, now that he's wicked strong. But for a brief moment there, he was both wicked strong and immortal. Combine that with his ability to steal the physical powers of anyone, and Goku was toast. But only if they fought exactly then and there. Number 7. Zeno. Zeno is the most obvious pick. He's the strongest character in the whole Dragon Ball universe. All the gods are afraid of him, and it's basically no contest. This is one of the fights that would be more on the boring side, as the power scaling in Dragon Ball is pretty obvious. Zeno's the strongest ever, and he can erase the universe with a clap of his hands. The cool thing about him, though, is that having a character like that levels the playing field and gives infinite room for Goku, as well as other Dragon Ball characters to grow. But as a fight, everyone knows how this goes. Now let's get into the more niche powers that can, under certain circumstances, be able to beat Goku. Starting with... Number 6. Takemichi Hanagaki. Now before everyone starts typing in the comments about how this isn't possible, hear me out, okay? Yes, in a straight up fight, it's impossible. Takemichi can't beat some normal human high schoolers in the real world. How can he beat a guy that can erase a planet just by punching it? And this is where Takemichi's niche ability comes into play. Takemichi has the ability to travel to the past. You can guess yourself what this means. He can stop Goku from being conceived. And boom, he's beaten. But it isn't that simple. Takemichi can only travel back in time, and back to the time where he's been alive. Goku is currently around 42 years old, while Takemichi is only 26, so he can only go back to around the time when Goku was 30. But being that, he got to be one of the top officers of Tomen. He can easily slide his way into the gods of the Dragon Ball Z world and convince them that he's from the future, that Goku would be a serious threat in the future, and they will dispose of him. Although this is extremely out of character, it's the only choice he has. Number 5. Monkey D. Luffy. Another controversial pick. Now, this is manga spoiler, so if you haven't caught up, you can skip this one. Although you probably won't, because the idea of Luffy beating Goku is too captivating. Throughout the whole story of One Piece, Luffy's power was the fact that he's made of rubber. That was it. Whatever cool creative thing he does with it, we were okay with. It always made sense, but never made Luffy overpowered compared to the other anime characters. This all changed in the recent chapters, however, when Luffy was revealed to have eaten a devil fruit that turns him into a literal god. But no, the future king of the pirates isn't just an omnipotent god that can just beat Goku with ease like Zeno or Anos. Not at all. His power literally allows him to turn into a cartoon character. He can do so many things cartoons can. Things that don't make sense like in the real world. Like when he gets beaten by Kaido, and literally escapes by stretching his arms through his eyes, grabbing his nose and escaping from his mouth. He also seems to be invulnerable to any damage, even though it does hurt him, but he can't get squashed or taken down in any way. Now, it's still too early to say what the extent of that power is, but at the very least, it will most definitely confuse Goku. Number 4. Aluka something. Up next, we have Killua's little sister, Aluka, the youngest member of the Zoldyck family, who is always locked away because of her special power. She has a being inside of her that Killua refers to as something. Whenever Aluka requests something, whether it's to pick her up, shake her hand, or however small she is, the moment a person fulfills 3 of her requests, her face changes, and something comes out. And now it's your turn. Something isn't a being that requests things. It's a being that grants wishes, so anything you request will be granted no matter what it is. The ability is more complex than that, and if you fail to grant her requests, you'll most likely be crushed. But that being said, if someone like Killua uses it, who knows how to use the ability and its rules? You can simply wish Goku to be the one that crushed, and that'll be that. Quite the handy power. Number 3. Light Yagami. This is one of the more obvious picks, but it's still worth mentioning. As you know, if your name is written in Light's special notebook in 40 seconds, you're going to have a heart attack, and you're out. That's the power Goku is facing. Now, people have argued over this for so long, saying that Goku's so fast that Light won't even be able to write his full name before being defeated. But that isn't entirely the case. Light Yagami is one of the protagonists of Death Note for a reason. The whole show is about wits and different mind games that you can play. And Goku himself isn't the brightest. So it would be quite easy for Light to use his super manipulation to get Goku's name and use the notebook to end him. That being said, if Light ever gets on the Nimbus, he will instantly fall, and Goku will never trust him again. But since that'll probably never happen, Kira wins the round. Number 2. Satoru Gojo. Now, Dragon Ball is all about power levels, right? If you have one guy with a power level under 9,000, one with a power level of over 9,000, guess who wins? And Goku's whole shtick is that he raises his power level to match his opponent every time. The problem is that we still have numbers at play. Satoru Gojo, on the other hand, has an ability called Infinity. With this, he can literally stop you from touching him, not just with physical powers, but with energy blasts as well. This basically means he's untouchable, and while doing damage to Goku isn't exactly the easiest thing to do, Gojo has an ability called Hollow Purple, and you can see for yourself what this does, and that's Infinity. Before we reveal our top pick, if you like this video so far, make sure to give it a quick thumbs up, and while you're at it, click on the subscribe button too. It's close to the other one. That being said, let's get into the whole reason this debate actually started. Biggest fight of them all. Number 1. Saitama. Now, this is the fight that everyone has been trying to figure out ever since someone first asked how it would go down. Every anime analyst started comparing feats, and if you look at feats alone, Goku trumps Saitama pretty badly. But that being said, Saitama still wins. This isn't because Goku is weaker or because Saitama overwhelms him in any way. The reason he wins is the power system in One Punch Man. In One Punch Man, every single monster, villain, hero, or whatever has a different power. Metal Bat becomes stronger the more he's hurt. Tatsumaki has psychic powers. Genos is a cyborg, and so on. The crab villain from Saitama's flashback was obsessed with money, and he loved eating crabs. He got so obsessed that this was his whole life until he actually turned into a crab himself, and that's the genius of One Punch Man's power system. Obsession is what ultimately gets you to where you are. Genos is obsessed with always bettering himself, so he always gets new upgrades. The Titan villain was obsessed with becoming bigger, so the universe got him there. It's basically the law of attraction on steroids, and what did Saitama want? To be a hero. So strong, he could defeat any foe in one punch. And that's what he got, and that's the tragedy of his character. So no matter how strong anyone is, Saitama's power is literally being so strong that he could beat him in a single punch. Or at least, that's the thematic power system of the show. So there you have it, disclosers. The top 10 anime characters who can beat Goku. We're sure to have plenty of agreeing and opposing opinions on this, so make sure to type it all down in the comments below. With that being said, we'll be taking our leave before Goku comes and beats us up for underestimating him so much. So as always, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.